guys, I'm Steph.
I'm Richard. Today's question comes from X-Girl 1997. Is it difficult to get around in Korea and talk to people? And if you're there to teach, to talk to the students and understand them because of the language barrier. What was it like when you first arrived? Did you go knowing how to speak a bit of Korean or not knowing at all? My first day in Korea was August 8th, 2002. And I remember that I was met at the airport by a friend. And I think if I hadn't been met by that friend, that I wouldn't have survived. Even though that's not true, I just felt that way because I had traveled to Europe before and I've been all over the US. And I had even been to South America, and Asia was a new animal, and it felt like the biggest difference in traveling in my life. I feel like if you're an adventurous person, if you're a world traveler, that sort of person coming here, you're gonna be fine. And I felt like that's what I was, and still this place intimidated me at first.
My first day was actually March 7th, 2009.
You remember your first day?
My first
Wow.
day. Because it was right before White Day.
The all-important White Day.
Whoa. I like White Day. For me, I had gotten a packet that had detailed information about how to get from the airport to my hotel in Gangnam because I didn't have anyone at the airport actually meeting me. So I had to find my way to my destination all by myself. And it was a little intimidating, but it was actually pretty easy. The other thing I will say though, it's important especially when you first come here, to either have a little bit of Korean or make a friend who does. My first week, I didn't know what to eat. I ended up eating ramen from the By the Way corner store because I couldn't order food. I didn't have enough Korean language skills to be able to order food. Okay guys, I'm gonna be honest. For me, coming to Korea, I actually don't speak Korean very well at all. I wish I could say that I did. My listening is actually a lot better than my speaking because I do watch Korean dramas, but I have never had to use Korean for my job, and I married this lovely man right here. So I don't really speak Korean at home.
Yeah, you have to study hard and study for a long time and apply it by speaking to people on a daily basis, on a regular basis, and more or less from the time you get up until the time you go to bed. And is that possible? Yes. Is that a realistic situation for someone who comes here to teach English? Not really. The reason why is most jobs want you to speak English to your students. So what happens is on the first day of school, you arrive to class, you have to speak English. When you're done, your boss is there. Your boss comes over and in English says, "How was your day?" or whatever, and have a little conversation. And right away you get in this mode where you're speaking English more than you're speaking Korean, even if you come here with the mindset that I'm gonna learn Korean and I'm gonna study hard and I'm gonna take classes and I'm gonna make lots of Korean friends. Is it possible? Absolutely. In fact, I love meeting people that speak Korean really well that are from North America or Europe or some non-Asian country. There are also a lot of people who have studied for years and will tell you, oh, Korean's so difficult, oh, my Korean's not that good. It's a kind of reoccurring theme that's an unfortunate one. It definitely helps to know a bit of Korean before you come here.
Especially Hangul. It really is important to learn how to read Hangul if you're going to be in Korea any significant amount of time.
Maybe even more important than learning a whole list of vocabulary words, other than like hello, how are you, thank you, these sorts of things are universal. They're very helpful in Korea. I still think that thank you and 안녕하세요 and 감사합니다 are the most important two words that you could possibly know here. And then the third one...
Where's the bathroom?
the third one will be 얼마예요, which is how much does it cost.
I don't know. I think bathrooms are pretty important.
Do you remember how long it took you to learn the alphabet?
I don't remember how long it took me to learn the alphabet.
I remember the first time I learned it. It was one day and I was teaching 6 classes that day. And the first class said, teacher, we want to teach you the Korean alphabet. And so they showed it to me. So then the second class came and I wanted to try and show them, like show off sort of thing. And I did it on the board and I couldn't remember them all, but they were happy that I was trying to learn Korean. And so by the 6th class, I opened up with it and I had gotten them all and it took less than 1 day. It was actually pretty easy. For me, I started to learn in my free time at home because I wasn't allowed to speak or write Korean in my hagwon, unlike you. But it actually, I didn't get a lot of practice, so I wasn't very good at it because I kind of relied on my coworkers, not a good thing, until I met you and then you were like, your Hangul reading is terrible, get on that. And then I did. First time I came here was 2002. Lived here for a year, and then the second time I came back to teach where I'm teaching now was 2008. First time I came here, didn't know a single word, had no idea what I was getting into, and the internet wasn't as developed back then, so I wasn't on there searching for K-pop and K-dramas and all that sort of thing. I remember friends were like, well, what are you gonna be teaching? And I'm like, I don't know. Where are you gonna be living? I'm like, I have no idea. And that sounds pretty foolish and kind of nonsensical. But that was the reality back then. I was like, I'll just immerse myself and I'm gonna learn Korean and I'm gonna make a lot of Korean friends, and it sort of happened that way. I think it's a lot easier nowadays in 2013 to come here because you can see a ton of YouTube videos that didn't exist in 2002 and know what to expect. All the K-pop's on there. You see K-pop all over the world. You can see lots of Korean dramas. And so it kind of readies your mind to become more familiar with this place.
Yeah, totally. I mean, for me, I only had a month to prepare to come to Korea. Actually, it was the month of February, so it wasn't even an entire month. Before that, I thought I was actually going to move to Japan, so I'd been actually studying and practicing Japanese. But when I found out I was coming to Korea, I thought, oh crap, I don't have time to learn this language. I really didn't watch that many Korean dramas before, so I immediately started watching Korean dramas to try to learn as much as I could about this place, and
that's how you did it? You just watched Korean dramas?
I watched Korean dramas. That's the only thing that I knew, was watching Korean dramas before I came to Korea. I was completely unprepared to come to this place.
So did it prepare you? Do you think it was helpful?
I think it was helpful a little bit. I think that I should have...
Not for Korean language, but for just like getting a feel for the land.
I think it helped me get a little bit of a feel for the land and kind of their attitudes and their family bonds, and how the society is more egalitarian and more Confucianist than the USA, for example. But at the same time, I wish I would have studied Korean before I came. My first week in Korea was terrible. I went from the airport, yeah, seriously, because I couldn't speak any Korean. I didn't even know how to say hello and thank you and where's the bathroom and how much is it. I couldn't order food. I couldn't read anything. So I could get around the subway fine, and I actually got from the airport to Gangnam fine, but I couldn't eat anything but what I could buy at the corner store because I couldn't order food. And I'm also a very shy person. Hard to believe.
Well, and that's a little ridiculous because there's restaurants everywhere, and especially if you're interested in Korea, you've seen so many different Korean dishes that look so delicious. Why would you not go into a restaurant your first week at all? And the answer is because it's a little bit more intimidating than you think. I think it has to do with culture because you're just not sure, do you go into a restaurant and take your shoes off or not? Do you bow? Are you confident when you say annyeonghaseyo, or is it annyeonghaseyo? And what else do you say when they try to speak to you in Korean and you can't understand them and you can't answer? It makes you feel kind of funny inside, you know?
Well, it was that. I mean, I had never really traveled alone by myself, so I didn't know that you could just look at a menu and point to what you wanted and, you know, one, and everything would be okay. I didn't know that you could do that, so for me, I did a lot of eating out of corner stores, and also there was other things. I mean, I had one of the fancy schmancy electronic toilet seats in my hotel, and I couldn't figure out how to flush the toilet.
There wasn't a lever? You couldn't just like...
It was hiding! It was like hiding all the way in the back, and so I was like, how do I flush this toilet? And I just started pushing buttons. And
those are really nice though in the wintertime, man, because they don't necessarily heat the hallways and the bathrooms, and even in nice places in this country. And so when you go to take a number 2 in the bathroom and you sit down on one of the heated toilet seats, the electronic seats with all the buttons, man, you could hit any one of those buttons and that baby's gonna heat right up and you feel better. You just feel like, oh man, that's what I needed. Because the rest of the air around you is freezing cold.
Yeah, and just be careful not to hit the bidet button.
Yeah, don't hit the bidet button.
And that does it for today's Like It video.
If you have a question that you'd like us to attempt to answer, go ahead and write it in the comment section below, or head to the Hallyu Facebook page and write it on our wall, and we will try to answer it because we just getting started.
Also check out the links in the description, especially our blog, for more information about this topic. And like this video, favorite this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more drama
and Like It videos. That's it for today's Life in Korea. Experience it! What'd you think?
I liked it.